Okay, we got a good one right here. Check this out. Here's another example of a predator cop, a cop that's so vile and disgusting and such a creep that gets little to no jail time. Check this out. Predator cop spared lengthy prison sentence after plea deal. Predator cop spared lengthy prison term and plea deal. Check it out. Let's get to the video. Shall we?
Is a piece of garbage.
Yes.
Him.
Right
Predator
here.
Cop is getting a sweetheart deal.
Sweetheart deal.
Let's keep his picture up. His name is Evan Kramer.
Evan Kramer.
So I'm taking you to Fort Pierce. Prosecutors reached a plea deal Monday with the former St. Lucie County Sheriff's deputy that calls for the state to drop multiple counts of sexual battery and other felonies filed in 2017 and spares the fired law enforcement officer decades in prison. Evan Kramer.
Evan Kramer, let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, just over last month ago, ladies and gentlemen, I did a story about that Tennessee cop that violently, repeatedly raped a 14-year-old teen girl multiple times, and he was looking at 95 years in state penitentiary prison. And what does he get? No jail time, and doesn't even have to register as a sex offender.
Was arrested while on duty January 2017 and charged with sexual battery related to an incident with a 31-year-old woman while he was on duty.
Wow.
Kramer was accused of negotiating a sex act in exchange for not taking the woman to jail. Let me give you the background to his initial arrest. He was accused of stopping a woman for a traffic offense, talking her into performing a sexual act on him at a remote location.
Whoa.
In another case, a woman said in January 2017, Kramer was on patrol when he stopped her in Fort Pierce and accused her of riding her bicycle on the wrong side of the road.
What?
She said he asked her, "How are we going to make this go away? Not go to jail."
What the fuck?
According to an affidavit. Kramer told her to meet him behind the building where they went into his patrol car and she performed a sex act.
Wow. And here's the thought. I had probably said this quite a few times. That back in the 80s and early 90s, there used to be a few officers that worked for the Pierce County Sheriff's Department. And unfortunately, Mr. Ed Troyer knew about this shit as well. But there were a few officers as well that would pull over vulnerable women, especially when they got out of nightclubs, telling like, "Oh, ma'am, you've been drinking, you can't be blah, 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 I can arrest you for this, like that." Or just portraying, preying on women, just, say, "Oh, you did this, you did that crime." And these poor women didn't want to go to jail, get arrested, had to spend money on lawyers or anything like that. So it was like this, or basically these cops were going around and say, either you go to jail or you have sex with me in the back of my patrol car. And some of these women had no choice but to spread their legs open, let it be done, so that way they had to go to jail and face charges.
For riding a bicycle. That was her punishment.
And all, this was for a bite.
From this dirty ass cop.
This SOB, ladies and gentlemen.
The corruption, the evil. You can't even describe it. He did this routinely, and I guarantee there are others that never came forward. There's more. Over the next few months, additional charges were filed. Kramer was facing 15 offenses, including 5 counts of sexual battery by a law enforcement officer, kidnapping, and 3 counts of soliciting or accepting unlawful compensation as a public servant. He was arrested again in June 2017 while incarcerated at the St. Lucie County Jail after he was accused of punching a fellow inmate in the face and putting him in a headlock, according to the arrest affidavit.
Wow.
As I have said, corruption typically does not come in simply one form. When you have corruption, that corruption permeates in multiple forms. So not only was he a cop who sexually assaulted citizens, victimized them, he also violated the civil rights of those in front of him. There's more.
Oh my goodness.
In a court action on Monday, a judge approved a plea deal That
Oh,
means
my
the
goodness.
prosecutor, the defense, and the judge agreed to this, in which the state agreed to drop. Look at this list now.
Look at this. Check this out.
5 counts of sexual
5.
battery by a law enforcement officer. 1 count of kidnapping.
Wow.
1 count of public servant soliciting
Wow.
or accepting unlawful compensation. And 4 misdemeanor marijuana charges. In exchange,
Check this out.
Kramer pleaded no contest to aggravated battery with great harm, which was reduced from a count of sexual battery by a law enforcement officer, 2 counts of public servant soliciting or accepting unlawful compensation, and 1 count of aggravated battery by a detainee with great harm. Okay?
Jesus.
Are you hearing me? He was allowed to basically plead those things away.
He was allowed to plead it out.
And this is why
That's
a
like
lot
pleading
of
no
people have
contest.
problems with
Oh,
the
plead no
cops.
contest. Okay.
It's not
Let's make
just
it go
because
away.
bad cops exist. It's because you don't hold them to the standard that you would
Exactly.
hold the common citizen to.
Yeah. And
This
that's
is
why
insane.
cops get away with
Cops should be held to a higher standard of
They should.
responsibility, not a lower. And what are you saying to the victims of this man?
Yeah. Those bitches
There's
get no
more.
justice.
In his May 23rd sentencing, a
No
judge
justice,
is expected
no
to sentence
peace.
Kramer to a total of possibly 7 years in prison, meaning he could be released in about 3 years after being
Check this
given
out. Here
credit
it
for
comes.
time he had
Here it
served in
comes.
jail while the case was pending. He actually faced a maximum punishment of 60 years
Bam!
if he was
60 years
convicted
you
as he was
facing.
charged. Yeah. There you go for actual accountability, right?
Yeah.
AB thoughts on this?
Accountability my ass.
Yeah, this just goes to show you exactly how strong the police union is, because that's the only way you get away with something like this, right? It should be a lot of angry
That's how the police union is.
senators
They back each other
should
up.
be making noise
They'll
right now,
make
because
the-
I
if
specifically
one cop gets in
remember
trouble with
during the
crime,
confirmation
they'll make it go away
hearings, like a
because
lot
they'll
of
back
people
each other
felt some
up.
type of way about
That's what the
predators,
mentality is.
right? And
That's why the whole
predators
thing is
getting
blue
less
lives
time
matter, you know?
in prison than
It
they
really
actually
goes around with the
deserve.
cops.
So if we don't want our police to look bad, we should
Yeah.
probably start making examples
The thin blue line really
of the bad
sticks around for
apples.
these dumb
And
cops.
this would be a perfect example. He needs way more time for this, because one thing about a sexual predator is they are more likely to recidivate than any other
Motherfucker
criminal.
should at least got 20 years in my
That's
book.
right. Well said.
This
All
doesn't
right.
stop
At
here.
least.
Not at all. Not at all. And by way of how this ruling is set to come on him, and remember, he wasn't charged with violation of oath of office, which I've said before. When they don't charge them with violation of oath of office, the fix is in.
Exactly. And here we go. And here it is. Another case of, cops get away with fucking anything. They get away with murder. They get away with rape. They get away with stealing. They get away with planting evidence. And they get away with falsifying injustice. That's why Brady violation comes in handy and to effect to a lot of these officers. With that said, I'm out here. Mike Drop. Peace out.